Everyone thinks manufacturing is leaving America, but this week, a Japanese automaker just proved everyone wrong. Toyota just announced a $3.6 billion investment to bring thousands of jobs back to Texas. And here's the shocking part. This move could completely reshape the auto industry. If you care about where cars are built, where jobs are going, and what the future of American manufacturing looks like, then you need to watch this video all the way through. Subscribe so you don't miss when we break down the biggest business moves that are changing everything. This is the story of how one company is winning while everyone else is losing. For decades, we've watched manufacturing leave America. Factories shuttered, towns emptied, jobs disappeared overseas, especially to places like Mexico and China. The auto industry seemed like the final chapter of this story. American car companies were moving production anywhere but America. Even foreign automakers who had plants in the US started thinking about relocating. It felt like a done deal. Manufacturing was gone, and it wasn't coming back. But then something unexpected happened. This week, Toyota dropped a bombshell announcement that changes everything we thought we knew about the future of car manufacturing in America. On July 7th, 2026, Toyota Motor Corporation announced one of the most significant manufacturing investments the automotive industry has seen in years. The company is investing $3.6 billion to expand its San Antonio, Texas facility. But this isn't just about building more cars. This is about moving production home. For the first time in years, we're seeing a major automaker commit to bringing jobs back to the United States instead of moving them away. And the scale is massive. Toyota plans to create 2,000 American jobs at this Texas facility alone. 2,000 people will have good-paying manufacturing jobs because of this decision. That's real money flowing into real communities. Here's what makes this even bigger. The San Antonio plant is currently producing around 200,000 vehicles per year. With this $3.6 billion expansion, Toyota will nearly double that capacity. By the year 2030, the facility will be able to produce 350,000 vehicles annually. That's a 50% increase in production. The plant will add a second vehicle assembly line and expand from 2.7 million square feet to roughly 5.2 million square feet. This isn't a minor upgrade. This is a massive transformation of American manufacturing infrastructure. But the real story is which vehicle Toyota is moving. They're shifting production of the Tacoma pickup truck from Mexico to Texas. The Tacoma is one of Toyota's best-selling vehicles in North America. It's a profitable vehicle with strong demand. Toyota isn't moving some experimental car or a low-volume specialty vehicle. They're moving one of their cash cows. This tells you something important about their confidence in American manufacturing. So when companies move jobs, they move the production that matters most. Toyota is betting on Texas. They're betting on American workers. They're betting on the future of U.S. manufacturing. And they're putting $3.6 billion behind that bet. The timing is crucial here. Toyota already employs approximately 48,000 people in the United States across 11 manufacturing plants. The company has a massive footprint in America, but even with all those jobs, Toyota recognized an opportunity to do more. The company is deepening its commitment to American manufacturing at a moment when everyone expected the opposite. Other automakers are pulling back. They're canceling factory expansions. They're slowing production. Toyota is accelerating. This is contrarian thinking at the highest level of corporate strategy. What makes this move even more significant is the context. Trade policy has been volatile. Tariffs have been unpredictable. Normally, companies avoid major investments when the regulatory environment is uncertain. They wait for stability. They delay decisions. But Toyota didn't hesitate. The company said something remarkable in their official statement. They said tariff policy wasn't the primary driver of this decision. Instead, Toyota emphasized that their investments are multi-decade decisions based on broader strategic goals. In other words, Toyota is thinking about the next 10 to 20 years, not just the next news cycle. The company explained that they're moving the Tacoma because it makes business sense. Toyota has been incredibly successful at growing its truck business in the United States. Their San Antonio plant is already the mainstay of that operation. Consolidating existing operations in one location is efficient. It reduces costs. It simplifies supply chains. It improves coordination between different vehicle platforms, since the plant already builds the Tundra full-size pickup truck and the Sequoia SUV. By bringing Tacoma production to San Antonio, Toyota creates a truck manufacturing hub in Texas. That's smart business strategy. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Toyota isn't just investing in traditional manufacturing. The company is simultaneously executing one of the most ambitious electric vehicle strategies in the industry. While other automakers have slowed their EV programs, Toyota is accelerating. The company plans to launch 10 fully new electric vehicles by the end of this year. 10. That's not a typo. That's an enormous commitment to electric vehicle production at a moment when the EV market has cooled significantly. For years, Toyota was cautious about battery electric vehicles. The company focused on hybrid technology instead. That strategy worked brilliantly. Toyota became the global leader in green mobility through hybrids, especially the Prius, which became the most iconic environmental vehicle in automotive history. But as the EV market developed, Toyota recognized that they needed to change course. They couldn't ignore the global shift toward electrification. They couldn't pretend that hybrids would be enough forever. Under the leadership of new CEO Koji Sato, Toyota is making a historic pivot. The company is committed to selling 1.5 million battery electric vehicles annually by 2026. That's not a distant goal. That's this year. 1.5 million electric vehicles per year. For perspective, that would make Toyota one of the top electric vehicle manufacturers globally. The company is aiming at the same volume that Tesla is currently producing. Toyota is essentially saying they want to match Tesla's entire electric vehicle production with just their EV lineup while still selling millions of hybrid vehicles alongside them. To achieve this, Toyota is adopting manufacturing technology that competitors pioneered. The company is implementing gigacasting technology, which is the same method that Tesla uses to reduce production costs and increase manufacturing speed. Gigacasting allows automakers to cast large sections of a vehicle's chassis as single pieces instead of assembling multiple components. This reduces weight, cuts production time, and lowers costs significantly. For decades, Toyota was known for inventing manufacturing improvements. Now Toyota is learning from competitors and adapting those innovations at an unprecedented scale. The new vehicles Toyota is launching include the redesigned CHR electric vehicle and the all-new electric Highlander, which will be available later this year for the 2027 model year. The Highlander EV is particularly important because it's a 3-row SUV that can seat up to 7 passengers. This is a family vehicle, not a niche product. Toyota is bringing electric vehicles to mainstream market segments where families actually shop. The Highlander EV will come with 2 battery options, a 77 kilowatt-hour pack offering up to 287 miles of range, and a 95.8 kilowatt-hour pack providing up to 320 miles of range. Toyota is also introducing a completely redesigned RAV4 for 2026. The RAV4 is Toyota's best-selling vehicle in the United States. The new 6th generation model is available exclusively as a hybrid or plug-in hybrid. This is significant because it shows Toyota's strategy across their entire lineup. They're not abandoning hybrids for electric vehicles, they're offering both. Customers can choose the powertrain that works best for their situation. The standard hybrid RAV4 produces up to 236 horsepower. The plug-in hybrid produces 320 horsepower. For the first time, Toyota introduced a performance version called the GR Sport, which comes with the plug-in hybrid powertrain and aggressive styling. Toyota is also preparing battery production capacity in the United States. In 2025, the company's plant in North Carolina began assembling automotive batteries for electrified vehicles. This is crucial infrastructure. Most automakers rely on foreign battery suppliers, which creates supply chain vulnerabilities and keeps production dependent on international logistics. By building batteries domestically, Toyota secures its supply chain and keeps more of the value creation process inside America. The contrast with competitors is stark and worth understanding. General Motors heavily invested in battery electric vehicles instead of hybrids. GM saw hybrids as a transitional technology and wanted to move directly to full electrification. The company spent billions on EV development. They built new factories specifically for electric vehicles. They committed massive resources to the technology. But the market didn't cooperate. EV demand cooled. Customers continued choosing hybrids and traditional vehicles. GM reported a 6.8% sales decline in the first half of 2026 compared to 2025. The company is struggling. Meanwhile, Toyota's diverse approach is working. Toyota's sales were up 0.5% in the first half of 2026. The company sold 1.24 million vehicles during that period. Toyota is narrowing the gap with General Motors, which sold 1.34 million vehicles. If current trends continue, Toyota could become the #1 selling automaker in America this year. That would be a historic achievement. Toyota would surpass not just General Motors, but also Ford and Stellantis to claim the top position in the U.S. auto market. This success isn't accidental. It's the result of intentional strategy. Toyota recognized that the market wanted options. Some customers are ready for electric vehicles. They have home charging stations and long commutes that make EVs practical. Other customers need the flexibility of hybrid technology. They drive unpredictable routes and want the confidence of gasoline engines. Still, other customers prefer traditional vehicles. By offering all 3 options across their lineup, Toyota captures every segment of the market. Competitors who bet everything on one technology are losing market share. Toyota is winning because they're flexible. The financial impact is enormous. Toyota paid $8.4 billion in tariffs during its most recent fiscal year. That single line item swung Toyota's North American operations from profit to loss. $8.4 billion. That's not a rounding error. That's an amount of money that could bankrupt smaller companies. General Motors paid $3.1 billion in tariffs. Ford paid $1 billion. These tariffs are real costs that directly impact profitability. Yet despite these enormous financial burdens, Toyota is committing to domestic manufacturing. The company is betting that long-term domestic production will be more profitable than paying tariffs on imports. The San Antonio expansion is called Project Orca internally. The project will add a second vehicle assembly line to the facility. It will expand the footprint by approximately 2.5 million square feet. The plant currently produces the Tundra pickup truck, including hybrid variants, and the Sequoia SUV hybrid. By adding Tacoma production, the facility becomes a comprehensive truck manufacturing center. Toyota will be producing 3 different truck platforms in one location: the Tacoma midsize pickup, the Tundra full-size pickup, and the Sequoia 3-row SUV. This creates efficiencies in parts sourcing, worker training, and logistics. The investment also supports broader American manufacturing capacity. The project is expected to create 2,000 direct jobs, but manufacturing jobs have multiplier effects. Workers spend money at local businesses. Local suppliers gain customers. Communities see economic growth. The Texas facility will also benefit from previously announced investments. Toyota mentioned it was investing $531 million in a 500 million square foot rear axle plant on the San Antonio campus, slated to begin production in fall 2026. That means multiple construction projects are happening simultaneously, creating additional jobs beyond the 2,000 permanent positions. Toyota's CEO, Ted Ogawa, released a statement about the expansion. He said Toyota's continued investment in North America is a testament to the company's confidence in the region's workforce, innovation, and long-term growth potential. By expanding the San Antonio plant, Toyota is deepening its commitment to American manufacturing, creating meaningful and sustainable jobs, while advancing its mission to deliver high-quality vehicles that meet changing customer needs. This language isn't corporate jargon. This is a genuine commitment to American manufacturing. The company is saying they believe in American workers and American communities. What's particularly interesting is that Toyota could have chosen differently. The company could have continued sourcing Tacoma trucks from Mexico. Mexican manufacturing costs are lower, labor expenses are lower, regulatory overhead is lower, but Toyota didn't make the financially easy choice. The company made the strategically sound choice. They recognize that nearshoring production to America provides benefits beyond just lower costs. Shorter supply chains mean faster delivery times. Domestic production means better quality control. American manufacturing means better alignment with North American customers' expectations and preferences. The broader context makes this even more significant. The global automotive industry is undergoing the most dramatic transformation in a century. Electrification is reshaping how cars are built. Autonomous driving technology is advancing. Supply chains are being reorganized. Traditional automakers are competing with new entrants like Tesla and Chinese manufacturers like BYD. In this chaos, Toyota is executing a deliberate multi-pathway strategy. The company is investing in hybrids, plug-in hybrids, battery electric vehicles, and emerging technologies simultaneously. This isn't indecision. This is strategic flexibility. Toyota is also being transparent about the timeline. The company set specific targets with specific deadlines. 10 new electric vehicle models by 2026, 1.5 million EV sales annually by 2026, solid-state battery commercial rollout between 2027 and 2028, the San Antonio expansion complete by 2030. These aren't vague aspirations. These are measurable objectives with real deadlines. Toyota is holding itself accountable to these targets. If the company fails to hit these numbers, investors and customers will notice immediately. The North Carolina battery plant is particularly important to understand. Building batteries domestically ensures that Toyota doesn't become dependent on foreign suppliers. China currently dominates global battery manufacturing. KATL, BYD, and other Chinese companies control vast battery production capacity. If Toyota relied entirely on Chinese batteries, the company would be vulnerable to supply disruptions, pricing pressure, and potential geopolitical tension. By producing batteries in North Carolina, Toyota maintains control over this critical component. The company can scale battery production as EV sales grow. This is vertical integration in the modern sense. Toyota's approach to manufacturing innovation is worth examining. The company isn't trying to invent revolutionary new technologies. Instead, Toyota is adopting proven manufacturing methods from competitors and implementing them at massive scale. Gigacasting was pioneered by Tesla, but Tesla's manufacturing capacity is limited. Tesla produces around 1.8 million vehicles per year. Once Toyota fully implements gigacasting across their production facilities, the company will produce millions more vehicles using this technology than Tesla currently produces. Toyota is essentially taking emerging technologies and scaling them to levels competitors haven't achieved. This strategy has historical precedent. Toyota didn't invent the assembly line, Henry Ford did. But Toyota studied Ford's methods, improved them, and built the Toyota production system. This system became the global standard for manufacturing efficiency. Companies across industries adopted Toyota's principles. Now in the 2026, Toyota is doing something similar with modern manufacturing technology. The company is observing what works, what doesn't, and implementing the best practices at unprecedented scale. The messaging from Toyota's leadership is also revealing. The company isn't framing this as sacrifice. They're not saying domestic manufacturing is more expensive, so we're doing it for patriotic reasons. They're saying domestic manufacturing makes business sense for long-term strategy. This is crucial. When companies make decisions based on patriotism or public relations, those decisions are fragile. They can change when political winds shift. But when companies make decisions based on sound business logic, those decisions are sustainable. Toyota is saying they genuinely believe that investing in American manufacturing will generate better returns than continuing to source from Mexico. That's a powerful statement about Toyota's confidence in American workers and American infrastructure. The impact on Mexico's auto industry is already becoming apparent. Mexico has built the second largest auto manufacturing sector in North America, second only to the United States. Major automakers have invested billions in Mexican facilities. Toyota's decision to shift Tacoma production from Mexico to Texas signals that other companies might follow. If a company like Toyota, which had been committed to Mexican production, is now moving back to America, what does that mean for companies that were less committed to Mexico in the first place? Other automakers might accelerate their own reshoring plans. Conversely, the decision suggests that Trump's tariff policies might be creating the intended effect, even if unintentionally. The stated purpose of high tariffs was to encourage domestic manufacturing. Toyota's decision appears to validate that tariff policy does influence corporate decisions about production location. However, Toyota's statement that they didn't cite tariffs as the primary catalyst suggests that the impact is more subtle. Tariffs create headwinds, but sound business strategy creates tailwinds. When business strategy and tariff policy align, companies are motivated to move. Looking at the broader industry, Toyota's strategy contrasts sharply with competitors' approaches. General Motors committed heavily to electric vehicles and is now struggling with demand. Ford has also heavily invested in EVs and is facing similar challenges. Stellantis, formed from the merger of Fiat Chrysler and PSA Group, has been inconsistent in its electrification strategy. Meanwhile, Tesla remains focused on electric vehicles exclusively and is facing increased competition from Chinese manufacturers. Toyota's approach of maintaining a diverse portfolio while selectively investing in growth technologies is proving more resilient. The company's profitability also reflects this strategy. Despite paying $8.4 billion in tariffs, Toyota remains highly profitable. The company's hybrid technology continues generating strong sales. The RAV4, Highlander, and other Toyota vehicles remain best sellers. New EV launches are expanding addressable market. Japanese manufacturing excellence continues giving Toyota quality advantages over competitors. When you combine these factors, Toyota is positioned for sustainable long-term growth. But this story isn't just about corporate strategy and financial performance. This story is about communities, workers, and the future of American manufacturing. Every investment Toyota makes in Texas represents jobs for American workers. Every vehicle built in San Antonio keeps manufacturing skills and experience in America. Every dollar that Toyota reinvests in North American operations strengthens the region's economy. Small suppliers benefit from contracts to provide parts. Local communities benefit from higher tax revenue. Educational institutions benefit from partnerships to train skilled workers. Toyota has also been proactive about workforce development. The company partnered with educational institutions to train the next generation of manufacturing workers. Toyota supports technical education programs. The company has established training centers where workers can develop skills and advanced manufacturing techniques. This isn't just hiring workers and putting them on assembly lines. This is building long-term relationships with communities and investing in human capital development. The announcement also matters politically and culturally. For decades, Americans have watched manufacturing jobs disappear. Communities that were once dependent on manufacturing have struggled economically and socially. The decline of American manufacturing has been portrayed as inevitable and irreversible. Toyota's commitment challenges that narrative. If a major Japanese automaker believes American manufacturing is worth a $3.6 billion investment, then maybe American manufacturing isn't actually dead. Maybe it's transitioning. Maybe it's evolving. Maybe it's becoming a location for high-skill, high-value manufacturing rather than low-skill, low-wage manufacturing. The timing of this announcement matters as well. It comes amid a broader conversation about reshoring manufacturing to America. Policymakers have increasingly recognized that offshoring everything has costs beyond just cheaper labor. Supply chain vulnerabilities have become apparent. Dependence on foreign suppliers creates geopolitical exposure. National security concerns have risen regarding critical supply chains. Suddenly, domestic manufacturing isn't just about economics. It's about resilience, security, and national strategic interests. Toyota's decision arrives in this broader context. Technology companies are also reshoring manufacturing. Semiconductor manufacturers are building plants in America after years of depending on foreign production. Battery manufacturers are expanding American operations. Vehicle manufacturers are bringing jobs back. This represents a genuine shift in global supply chain strategy. Companies are recognizing that having geographically diverse manufacturing provides security and flexibility. Toyota's investment is part of this larger trend. But Toyota's move also demonstrates confidence that isn't universal in the industry. Some competitors are sitting on the sidelines, waiting to see if reshoring trends persist. Others are making smaller, more cautious investments. Toyota is committing billions and setting aggressive targets. This suggests that Toyota's leadership has genuine confidence that American manufacturing will provide competitive advantages for decades to come. The company isn't hedging bets. The company is all in on American manufacturing. For viewers watching this story, the implications are significant. First, manufacturing jobs might be returning to America. If you live near manufacturing centers like San Antonio, Texas, or other automotive hubs, employment opportunities might be expanding. Second, the automotive industry is undergoing rapid transformation. Companies that adapt thoughtfully, like Toyota, are winning. Companies that resist change or commit too heavily to single technologies are struggling. Third, American manufacturing isn't dead. It's transforming into something different from what it was decades ago. The manufacturing of the future will involve advanced technology, skilled workers, and strategic supply chain positioning. Toyota's announcement this week is a watershed moment. The company is signaling that domestic manufacturing remains strategically important. The company is committing resources that back up that conviction. The company is creating actual jobs with real wages in American communities. At a moment when many Americans feel pessimistic about manufacturing, Toyota is providing a concrete reason for hope. The company is proving through action, not just words, that American manufacturing has a future. For workers, communities, and anyone who cares about the economic vitality of America, Toyota's $3.6 billion investment is genuinely transformative news. What we're watching unfold is nothing less than a reshaping of global automotive supply chains. Toyota's decision to bring Tacoma production home will reverberate through the entire industry. Other Japanese automakers like Honda and Mazda might follow. American automakers like Ford might accelerate their own domestic investment plans. Tier 1. Suppliers who provide components to automakers will need to establish American operations or expand existing facilities to serve the increased domestic production. This creates cascading effects throughout the supply chain. Smaller companies benefit from proximity to major automotive manufacturers. Local economies strengthen as supply chain jobs multiply. The strategic timing also matters enormously. Toyota is making this commitment when competitors are retreating or hesitating. This gives Toyota a first-mover advantage in reshoring. The company will establish relationships with local suppliers, workers, and communities before competitors arrive. Toyota will secure the best available real estate for manufacturing facilities. The company will build brand loyalty in communities by creating quality jobs. When competitors eventually decide to increase domestic production, they'll be following Toyota's path, not charting their own course. Furthermore, Toyota's electric vehicle strategy and manufacturing investment work together synergistically. Building more vehicles domestically means building more electric vehicles domestically. More American battery production supports more electric vehicle manufacturing. More advanced manufacturing technology implemented in American plants means American workers developing expertise in these technologies. This creates a virtuous cycle. American manufacturing becomes more sophisticated. American workers become more skilled. American companies become more competitive globally. This is genuinely transformative for the economy. The stakes are also higher than just car production. The automotive industry is one of the largest industrial sectors in America. Hundreds of thousands of workers depend on automotive manufacturing jobs. Thousands of suppliers depend on automotive manufacturers as customers. Communities across America depend on automotive manufacturing as an economic anchor. When Toyota invests $3.6 billion in manufacturing, they're not just building more cars. They're investing in the future of American economic competitiveness. They're betting that America can compete globally in high-value manufacturing. This is how one company is reshaping an entire industry and the communities it serves.